Now then, people, good morning. Welcome back to the JUSTJOE Football Show. Is it morning? Yeah, it's still morning, innit? We're all doing well. Smash me a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, and of course, hit that notification bell. We'll do a little check-in. We had a check-in yesterday. We'll check in again today. We're going to make this a regular thing. Check-in time. Hope we're all doing well. I'm a bit up and down today. Emotions are a bit up and down today. I've been listening to music. Music is the spiritual food with which I eat, right? And depending on my mood, depends on what type of music I listen to. So yeah, I've been getting in my feels a bit this morning with that stuff. I've got bad toothache, probably from substance misuse. My teeth are hurting. But, you know, one day at a time, we're going to get through that. I've got a plan of action today. My daughter's at football. We're doing this. I've got a doctor's appointment at 2, which, by the way, I turned up at 10 a.m. and they were like, what are you here for? And I said, I've got an appointment. And they were like, no, it's 2 o'clock. So I don't know my ass from my elbow. But we've had a Greg's. We had a pan au chocolat and a vanilla latte, which was nice. We fed the dog. We've got some water, getting some fluids on board. We had some lovely conversations with friends. And yeah, we move. I'm in my head at the minute about what to do in terms of moving. I'm like, do I go home? Do I go back home to Halifax to be with friends? Because obviously in the northeast it can get lonely at times. So I'm like umming and ahhing as to what to do in that headspace at the minute. But more will be revealed, as they say. I've just got to keep doing the right things and see what drops into place. I hope you're all doing well. Anyone wants to share anything, then please do it. I received a lot of messages privately on social media and in my comments after yesterday. So thank you for that. I'm unable to get to a meeting today because obviously I've got things I need to do. So I'm going to find an online one. So I want daily check-ins to make sure I'm on the right path. Big up to Sarah, Dr. Cox, Ryan, and everybody else in the cut. We're here to talk about Leeds United, obviously, after that. Look, we've played 10 games now. A lot of people felt the manager wouldn't even get 10 games, or they said I would give him 10 games. Well, he's got 10 games now. So is it a case of, I guess the proof's in the pudding now, isn't it? Can we survive? 11 points, can we survive? Now, history tells us if you got 11 points after 10 games, you can. Okay. Now, I've been thinking about this over the past few days. Obviously, there's chat of managerial changes from sections of the fan base. That's fine. That's fine. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I'm still in the position of backing the manager. But I have been thinking, like, frankly, in my mind, have Leeds got enough? Have Leeds got enough currently to stay in the Premier League? The more I think about it, the more I think, I'm not sure. And I know that might surprise a few ears. But the numbers aren't looking great in terms of, and again, this isn't a managerial problem for me. It's a personnel problem. It's a quality problem. I just, look, we're going to crunch some numbers. We're going to look at some stats and have a conversation about that. No, David, the YouTube algorithm's got us in a muddle, man. Yeah. This is my point, Mayor. Mayor's just said, Joe, this team with what we have up top is absolutely not. DCL, Harrison, Aronson are shite, he says. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're well equipped enough. And people will blame the manager. But if you look at the team on paper, if you look at the performances we've got, and I've been proud of the lads, and I just don't know if we've got enough. I'm starting to come around to that thought process. Actually, it's going to be a slog. It's going to be tough. And changing a manager won't change it all that much, in my opinion. Maybe it's because I'm on a downer at the minute that I'm feeling this kind of way, but I'm just trying to think about what I've seen. And I don't think it's great. Because look, I don't, West Ham, they're still in with it. Wolves look down, dead and buried, these 2 spots, right? West Ham had a great upturn, a great result the other day, 3-1, against a decent side. So they'll be feeling buoyant and positive. It's the first time they've won in over a year. Like Mayer says there, DCL has 1 goal and 0 assists. Not great. Pirro, 4 goals, 1 game. Where's he scored 4? When did he score 4, mate? DCL will not get 4 goals or assists all season. Are you on about the 4 he got at Stoke in the Championship? Come on. So the fact Everton drew with Sunderland last night, that we're better than Sunderland. No, I mean, it doesn't work like that, does it? Definitely not. It's not how football works. I know some people try to use that as a barometer. You know, we've seen some mad things. Oh, well, we've only beat shit teams and all that. I don't want to get into that today. I just want to talk about, like, after 10 games where Leeds United are at. And do we have enough? Do we have enough? And my head's telling me at the minute, like, my heart is like, my heart's saying, come on. But I just, look, someone alerted me to a thread that was done on Reddit, which was quite interesting. These are from FootMob stats. So we're basically in the 10 games that we've played so far, we're significantly underperforming on where our expected points should be. We have 4 fewer points than the data suggests. And this is where, I know people don't like data and all that sort of stuff, but this is where clubs at the top will look at things. So we have 4 fewer points than we should have. There's only 2 teams in the division that are underperforming us by more. And that's Forest, who have 5 points less than they've expected, and Wolves, who have 9 points less than expected. It should say what that then shows us that, you know, there is some correlation to it, because 2 teams that are worse than us in terms of underperforming their numbers are actually below us in the table. So that it does have some correlation. Of course, like people say, you watch a game with the eyes and stuff, and I prefer the eye test more so, but the eye test also backs up this, I think. Burnley are the biggest overperformers currently. They have 5 more points than they should have. And a lot of that will be the defending and obviously living a charmed life, playing a low block, etc. But put simply, we are scoring fewer goals than we should and conceding more than we should. We know we have an issue with finishing, with putting the ball in the back of the net, creating chances. We're 10th in the league for expected goals and 13th for shots on target per match. Right, so 10th for expected goals, 13th for shots on target per match, but we're 17th for actual goals scored. 17th. And we're 8th in the table for big chances missed. So there's a lot on that we just don't have the quality in the final third. I really like Calvert-Lewin, but he's not a goal scorer. He's a spicy Bamford in a sense. Like, genuinely, he's better than Bamford, but it's the same player for me. It literally is the same player. The only decent player we have is Okafor. Genuinely, it is. And that's not good enough for a Premier League. It's not. And that's when I have to go, right, okay, so who's keeping Leeds United up? Okafor. He's the only player that I could look at in that team that I go, he's one, but is Okafor enough? The facts are no. No. Having Okafor is not enough, because I don't even think he's completed 90 minutes yet. And he drops in and out of games. So is the squad in the final third good enough to keep us in the Premier League? The answer's probably no. Because Okafor can't do it on his fucking own. And I would argue he's not good enough to do it on his own. He's not Rafinha. We had Rafinha before. We do not. We do not have that now. Sorry, Joe. Love you, man, but stats mean nothing. I mean, they don't. They mean something. Otherwise, they wouldn't be used, pal. So 8th in the table for big chances missed. Only 4 teams have conceded less XG than us. So the structure is good. The tactics are good, in my opinion. So Willie would make a difference. I don't think he would, Mayor. I don't think he would. Not for me. So in terms of XG against, how many chances are conceded against us? We're 4th. That's very good. That shows us that the setup is good, for me anyway. But we have conceded the 2nd highest number of goals. That's huge. That's huge. The fact that we are 4th in the table for conceding chances against our goal, yet we've conceded the 2nd highest goals. That's a personnel issue again for me. It's a goalkeeping issue. It's a player issue. Are they switched on enough? Are they wise to certain situations? They're clearly not wise to fucking cutbacks. The manager needs to work on that. I just don't understand how we can concede the fourth least XG in the league. 4th. Yet concede the second highest number of goals. It's not good. Ball watching, like you say, Ian. Again, it's personnel. Now, of course, the manager, George says you did. Which part do you disagree with me on, pal? I can't, because I don't know which part you disagree with me on. So this is why I back the manager, because the structure is allowing the structure and the tactics, is allowing Leeds United to concede the 4th lowest XG and also create chances, but they're not being put in, and the players are lackadaisical at the back. The goalkeeper, the defenders, they need to be. The facts are, I believe, our players are of a level that they need to be 10 out of 10 to be able to compete at this. That's mad. If you think Willie Gnonto can do a job in the Premier League in the middle, no. Willie, I don't know. I don't know who people think Willie is. Right. So 2nd highest is because of the manager. You could argue with the reason to play out from the back. Okay, George, that's fair. But we've also conceded the 4th lowest XG in the league. So that's on him as well. But yeah, we could have conceded less in them games by going about the game tactically different. Yeah, putting 5 at the back, being more defensive, sitting in a low block. Yes, you are right. You are right. So you are right in that respect, mate. Now, this person who has done this thread, Down and Dirty Leeds, he's called. It's really good thread on Reddit. If he's watching this, big up to you, and I'll share it. So he's gone down into individual areas of the team now in goalkeeping. Okay, this is the biggest area of underperformance. Okay, so Darlow has one of the lowest save percentages in the league, and only one keeper has a worse goals conceded metric than him. Perry also isn't much better. Only one team has a worse post-shot XG, suggesting we've let the most goals in that we shouldn't have, so the keeper should have saved a lot. If I remember rightly, like the Gyökeres one that Perry was in goal for, I think it was Perry. He should save that. There's a few. Perry and Darlow both have poor passing accuracy. Perry's in the bottom 10%. Darlow in the bottom 30%. Now, of course, a lot of them, like's been said, do attempt a lot of long balls. We tended not to on Saturday, which was silly for me. I don't know why we went for short balls and tried to play out from the back against Brighton, to be honest. It was like Arsenal, wasn't it? It was just like Arsenal. Sorry, folks. I've lost my vape. I do need to get my vape. Just bear me 1 second. Sorry. So that's the goalkeeping situation. I do believe as well the recruitment team were not aligned on the goalkeeper. If I remember rightly, there was an article, Farker wanted this one, they wanted that one, and I don't think they were properly aligned on the goalkeeper. I do think, from what I've seen of Perry, his shot stopping's good. His commanding of his box is best we've seen in a while. But yeah, there's a lot to be desired. The fact that the manager let Darlow keep his place said all you need to know for me on the manager's belief in Perry. I think had that been a better goalkeeper, when as soon as he's fit, your number one comes back in, it's just always the case, man. Isn't it? Let's be honest. When you are a number one and you're wanting to win games, you play him. So I don't know there. In terms of defending, so again, people smash the defense, but they've got pretty healthy stats overall, except the one that matters, which is goals conceded. But again, some of that's due to poor goalkeeping. So we are 6th for interceptions per match, 10th for clearances per match, and 16th for saves per match. Rodon comes out well. He's in the top 20% for aerial duels won and dribble passed. He's in the top 40% for duels won. He is, however, relatively low on tackles overall. Strauch's data is very concerning. Tacticos won't like this. He's in the bottom 6% for duels won and interceptions, which is anemic for a centre-back. The bottom 20% for aerial duels won and blocks, though he's absolutely outstanding for passes and long ball accuracy. Top 10% of all defenders. But we need people to defend, right? We need people to defend. So from his defensive standpoint, it's not that great. There isn't enough data yet for Biol, but I've seen a lot of criticism of Biol and his pace and stuff. But listen, Andrea, I remember speaking on this. And yeah, but there was a video clip of him on Twitter where he ran straight forward and everyone thought he looked pacey. This back five won't work for us. I just don't know how we get enough out of our better players with the back five. How do we get our best assets are on the wing, and you're wanting to remove the wingers? I don't understand it, but hey, everyone all believes there's better out there. Bogle and Goodmanson both doing pretty well from a stats perspective, both amongst the top 20% for most defensive metrics, which includes duels, blocks, recoveries, tackles. Both also amongst the top 10% for dribbles and touches in the opposition box. So they're doing well. The fullbacks are doing well. Bogle has extremely high expected goal stats for a fullback and shots, but he's middling on assists. Goodmanson has extremely low expected goal stats, but good assist stats, and that's to be expected from them too, really, when you're watching it and the eye test. Bogle does get forward, likes to cross the ball, and if he has a chance, he will have a go. Goodmanson likes to link up with his winger and try get cutbacks in. So the fullback's a very strong area of our game. Overall, the defence goes okay. Strauch obviously clearly underperforming, but we know what he's like in them duels. He gets turned in the Championship. That was something that we were aware of. I remember Sargent, a decent, competent striker. Sometimes he lunges in and he gets turned, he gets bodied. I do think he's quality on the ball, but that's where he does lack. I think we know that. Biol, is he the answer? Is the recruitment good enough? Is the goalkeeper good enough? Is Strauch's replacement good enough? The fact that Strauch kept his place for as long as he did, that would again raise questions. Because, as I would said, just like the goalkeeper, if your best centre-back is supposed to be right, he came in international from Italy, 15 million. He's our best centre-back. You would have thought. Then you would have thought you'd have played him straight away. And Kershaw, that's where I'm at, you know. I'm not bashing the squad. I'm just saying, like, if I look at it now, am I confident of staying up? No. Why? Not because of the manager. Because I just don't think we have enough. We have to hope that we're in and around it come January. And then we fucking spend. We sell and we spend. We sell and we spend. Again, our stripper, like you said, Joe, that's proof we need to be on the front foot. Yeah, we can't sit back. We ain't got the quality. Our fullbacks are better at getting forward. Our defenders, Rodon's really good, but Yorkshireman, he'd probably play Okafor behind Calvert-Lewin. But you're right, though, this 3-5-2. People are saying, play 3-5-2 and put Pirro behind Calvert-Lewin. What and drop? Nonto, James, and Okafor. That's what I'm saying. That's what people are suggesting. It doesn't suit us. It doesn't suit us. Honestly, it doesn't. We need a 10, us. We need a 10 and a right winger. We just have to hope that, and this is where I back the manager. I believe, based on the tools that he's got right now, he's doing a great job. This is why I back him. This is the point I'm making. That's why I don't understand why people want him got. Because I say it quietly, but the team's not great. The team's not great. There's some good players in there. But would anyone be rushing and knocking down our door to take any of our players in the Premier League? Burnley have a similar issue. Our attacks are naff. We're not even got onto the attack yet. The defence is okay. The goalkeeping situation, the centre-backs, Rodon's great, but the one alongside him, I'm not too sure. But overall, so this is my point. Structurally, XG against 4th. Actual position due to conceding goals 17th. Yeah, no, Matt, the team isn't great. It's not. Our best players know we're Okafor. Can see that a country mile. The manager is part of the recruitment team. Yes, Dazzy Mods, right? However, the manager hasn't for 1 second turned around and said, I'm happy. The manager said, I want 2 players. They gave him none. He then said, I will not wave the white flag. We will go with what we've got. He's been very commendable in the way that he's dealt with it, because other managers would have kicked off. You know, if it's a Mourinho type, it's a disgrace, blah, blah, boom. Remember Scott Parker at Bournemouth, he ended up losing his job because he said, they have not given me enough. They sacked him. Gary O'Neill kept them up for what it's worth. But this is the point. Our manager, if anything, has sang their hymn sheet. But he did say I wanted 2. He's wanted a number 10 for about 2 years. So, yes, he's part of the recruitment team. But don't tell me Fark went, yeah, on deadline day, yeah, turn it all off, we're good. We're good. He didn't. A manager always wants more players. So, that's where we're at. So, overall, defence is doing okay. Okay. But we're still conceding too many goals. Midfield. On this thread that is on Reddit, again, it's a great thread. But we are tight. This is the thing. In most games, we are. I know we're sort of suicide on Saturday, but in most games, we are. That's fine, Matt. That's fine. That's fine. Let's talk about the midfielders. So, midfielders are always hardest to use stats for to analyze because they can be so different depending on the system. So, won't even bother. The only things I pick out that I found interesting are Tanaka is doing terribly defensively. He's amongst the bottom 8% for duels won, tackles, and dribbled past. Ampadu is overall middling in basically every attacking and defensive metric, which supports the eye test that he's doing okay so far, but no better than that. I think there's a case for maybe playing Anton Stack in his furthered 6 role and giving him a bash there instead of Ampadu. Potentially. Sorry. Longstaff is defensively the best by a mile, according to the data. He's in the top 12% for duels won, and only 2 midfielders have won more tackles than him. Longstaff's offensive output is pretty close to Stack's. He has better expected assists and only marginally lower expected goals than Stack. So the midfield's okay. Okay, yeah. Does Gruev leave in January? Potentially, yeah. Attack. A good example. So on this, he said a good example of why data can't tell you the whole story. Our attacking data is pretty hard to interpret, as a lot of it looks good, except the stats that really matter. So on DCL specifically, we have a problem with him as a focal point for the attack. We have the second highest accurate crosses into the box in the league. Yeah, mostly driven by our fullbacks. Bogle's very good crosser of the ball. But we are near bottom for touches in the opposition box, and DCL is in the bottom 25% of all strikers. So we're getting balls into the box. It's just obviously we're not doing enough with it. Does DCL have enough in and around him? He's doing bad for XG, so he's in the 35th percentile, and top 10% for expected assists. He's brilliant on duels, which we know. Top 20% of all strikers for duels. That's why for me, we shouldn't be going short. I think we should be going long. I don't know why we went short at the weekend. I don't understand it. I don't know if he felt right. We're going well. I have enough faith in the boys now that they can do that at Brighton, but we need to know who we are. That's where I think the manager got it wrong. So he's brilliant on duels, top 20% of all strikers, and top 25% on recoveries and turnovers. So he's pressing well from the front. His XG disparity isn't that bad. He's only expected to have 2 goals or 1.8 in the Prem, and he has 1. But creating less than 2 XG in 10 games isn't great. It's not great, is it? So he's performing as he should be, but he's not getting into enough, goal scoring positions, because you should have more than 1.8 XG after 10 games for sure. He's not getting the ball in dangerous areas very much, but again, that's a creation issue as well. The biggest surprise, it might not so much a surprise to me, but it might come a surprise to you, is that Aronson's output stats look pretty good. He's expected to have scored 1.6 goals. He has 1. He's in the 87th percentile for expected assists. He's sky high, as you'd expect, for tackles and recoveries. Where Aronson is painful outlier, he's keeping the ball. He's in the bottom 15% for dispossession. So he gives it away 2.25 times a game. We know this, right? And bottom 25% for successful passes. So only a quarter of his passes are successful. This is where we know where he lacks. Pressing and all that sort of stuff, winning turnovers, he's great at. But when it comes to proof in the pudding, can he keep the ball long enough? No, he probably runs himself into a dark alley. Can he find the right pass? No. And that's where it teeters on Aronson, right? We know he's a great worker. We know all that. Okafor is fascinating. As you'd expect, he's a massive outlier on successful dribbles. So he's in the 96th percentile for that. And expected goals. He's 81st and 89th percentile, respectively. So, he's smashing it, basically. We know that, right? When he's got the ball, I sort of get off my feet and think he can do something here. His defensive output is also just as good as Aronson's, but he's doing terribly for assists and passes. He's got an even lower successful pass rate than Aronson, which I didn't realise. I wouldn't have thought of. So that's not great. He's bottom 25% for chance creation and bottom 33% for expected assists. So great when he's got the ball at his feet, but again, distribution, getting into the right areas and passing to the striker. And maybe that again is another reason why the data suggests that Calvert-Lewin isn't getting the ball in dangerous areas very much. Well, that correlates with the 2 wingers. One of them's great at pressing, tackling, winning the ball, but then can't keep it and he's poor at passing. One's great at dribbling, but when it comes to actually laying on the ball, he gets it wrong. So that would make sense as to why Calvert-Lewin isn't getting the ball in dangerous areas enough. As we'd expect, Danny Boy, Mr. Dan James, is doing shite, albeit in limited minutes. He's got the worst successful passes and passing accuracy per 90 in the whole league. That's bad. Really bad. This is what Daniel Farke is working with. That's wild. Dan James has fallen off a cliff. Of course, it's limited minutes, but he's got the worst successful passes and passing accuracy per 90 in the whole league. He's in the sixth percentile for touches per 90. So he's not even getting on the ball. 11th percentile for dribbles. His expected goals and assists per 90 are weak, and he's near the bottom for defensive stats too, which is tackles, duels, blocks, etc. So Dan James is really... So this is the thing when people are talking about Aronson. He's been a damn sight better than what Dan James has been. And this is why the manager's probably going with him. Because all the data and football clubs are very data-driven. We'll be like, what the fuck? That's quite shocking for me, that. And I didn't... And yeah, I do think Diggler, we need to cut him a bit of slack because he hasn't looked the same. He hasn't looked the same. But again, Dr. Cox, we have no good right wing. We've been saying this. The manager was saying it. We tried to rectify it by bringing in Buonanotte and Harry Wilson, and they couldn't, and they should have. And should have done something else. It's not good enough. And that's why it's so hard for this manager to have to be able to do miracles, basically, because that's what's needed. What do you mean, mate? What do you mean? That's a chalk and cheese, not a fair... What's not a fair comparison? Tell me, so at least I can know where you're on it. They didn't try hard enough. Don't tell me you can't find a right winger. Do not let them... Don't cut them slack. No way. So Harrison's output is shite too. He's the only one of our wingers, though, to be in the top 25% of attackers for successful passes. So at least he can pass the ball. But he's got one of the worst XG per 90 in the league, and his stats for touches in the box. Expected assists and crosses are also weak. I can't help but feel I wish we'd have kept Solomon. I wish we'd have kept Solomon now, on reflection, because the guy never lost the ball. And maybe, I don't know if Okafor can play off the right. Maybe bring in Okafor and have Solomon as well. Solomon kept the fucking ball. Solomon kept the ball. He could pass the ball. He linked up well. He could cross the ball. I think we should have gone for Solomon. And then also maybe, I don't know if Okafor can play on the right, but I'm just thinking of, like, if I compare that with, say, Harrison, James, those players, you know, it's tough. It's tough. When you look at these numbers, it is hard with the quality that we've got. And I think that's why I think it's hard. Because if the money, of course, there are managers out there. I was speaking to Joe early on, you know, it's not our job. So when I say to you, give me a name, like when people would say to me in the past, give me a name, I say, well, it's not my job to give you a name. I'm sorry, but I don't know. Players all over the bloody... No, it's per 90, mate. It's per 90. It's per 90. But either way, we're not comparing James and Aronson. We're not comparing... It's because you're not... James is still doing shit, bro. That's the point. We're not even on about them as comparing them. We're just saying that they're both shit. Have it whatever you want. I'm not getting into an argument over Aronson, because that's what that's about. It's because you hate Aronson. James better. Well, the stats say different. It's per 90. But either way, they're both not great. Let's just go with that, okay? They're both not great. Yeah, we should have kept Solomon, for sure. This is where I come back to the manager. And again, there will be managers out there, but with this team, What more can you expect than what we're getting right now? I showed you yesterday that 1 win away from home actually isn't that bad. Everyone talks about away form. Kershaw, I see you put the tweet out. It isn't up until you get to 7th in the league with Liverpool that they've got 2 wins. Everybody else has got one win. So it's difficult. We should really have a win and a draw, which would be even better, which would move us straight up the table on the away form. So for me, why I'm quite philosophical. Do I think we've got enough? I'm not sure. I'm hoping we get some good results. January, buy. We must buy. But that's why I'm pretty. When we're getting beat 3-0, of course I don't enjoy it. Of course it's shit. But I'm pretty philosophical about it and go, this is where we're at. We're expected to get beat. Of course not get beat 3-0. But guess what? If we get beat 1-0, it's still fucking 0 points. Joe, genuine question. Did you pay 25 million for Aronson? Yeah, we did, yeah. I'm not arguing with you, George. Sorry, mate. Sorry if that's how I just wanted to say don't want to get into a debate about that. I was just saying, listen, right now it's hard. It's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel because we've got Forest next, then Villa, and then some rock hard games. What's expectations versus Forest? I'll take a point now. The City ground is notoriously a tough place to go. So what he's sort of done his reflections. There's this guy. It's great. It's a great thread, by the way. So my reflections. The data does point to some individual quality issues. The team is roughly functioning as it should be, but our efficiency at both ends of the pitch is really poor. Defensively, we're doing well, but conceding anyway. Some of that is poor goalkeeping, and some of that is a lack of concentration, which we can all see with the eye test, right? Strauch, according to the data, has more than earned his benching. The midfield is fine. Tanaka needs to play his way back into first 11, probably. I think Tanaka might be dropped again for the weekend. I think Stack will come back in. The data for our attack does not make sense and jars with the eye test. I would suggest the data here isn't telling the whole story and struggling to give a true measurement of the quality of our output. Broadly, the volume of our chance creation is fine, but that is not translating into decent shots on and goals. We are putting in a lot of accurate crosses, but a lot of inaccurate passes and not touching the ball in the box consistently enough. No one is being efficient, and only Okafor is overperforming their XG. One of the biggest issues seems to be that all our attackers are giving the ball away a lot, and most of their passes are inaccurate. It does suggest a lack of quality and efficiency, but albeit a reasonably high level of output relative to the ball we are getting. We are only 16th for possession. So, again, I think the big thing, again, is quality. Because if you look, who in that attack do you look at as someone you know is gonna give you something? It is Okafor, and he's the one that we paid 15 million for. All the other players that we bought and the ones that we got, they're not good enough, are they? Calvert-Lewin was a free. Metcher was a free. Pirro, he's not for this level. James, would argue, is James like Dwight Gale? Is James like Dwight Gale? Rips up the Championship, just not good enough for the Prem. Nonto, we're yet to see. Some fans, not me, but some believe he can be the answer. I hope they're right. Who else is there? Aronson. Listen, I back him, but I know he's not great. I back him because I feel he gets unfair shake. He doesn't get credit for the things he does well. So, Aronson's Aronson. Jack Harrison, to be honest, I thought we'd get more out of. I can't lie to you. I thought we'd get more out of, and I was wrong. He's been poor. When he's come on, he's been poor. When he started against Burnley, he was poor. I hold my hands up. I thought we'd have got more out of him. The midfield is is ordinary. It's good. It's competitive. It does lack spark, but that we knew that that's what we were going for, right? I'm okay with that. But if you're going to go with that type of midfield, you best believe you need to have fucking gunmen up top. You need to have top players up top. Harrison isn't lazy, Dr. Cox. It's one thing you can't say. And the defence, wing back, the fullbacks I love. Centre-back partnership, Rodon's fine, but I don't know if Biol is the answer. And then obviously the goalkeeper, I don't think, well, the fact that they weren't settled on who the goalkeeper was going to be tells you all you need to know. So it's difficult, isn't it? It is difficult. For the manager, it's difficult. Because I just don't think the team, the squad, the squad and the players are in the bottom three in the Premier League. So if you finish outside of that, you've worked miracles for me. Because if we look at the table and the teams in it, the squads are better. They just are. Our squad is not great. Our options are not great. Look at the teams in and around us. Wolves, okay, they're having a terrible season, but they've got some good players. Forest, terrible start to the season, but trust me, Forest have a top side. A top side. West Ham, we know, have some great individuals. I don't think they're, Burnley, similar to us. Fulham, aging, very old squad, but yeah, like who else really? Their teams in and around us, everyone above us, we can't even chat to, if we're being totally honest. Four out and five in. We need a lot of work, Seri. We do need a lot of work. If we are outside of the relegation zone by January, Farke's done an amazing job, but that's why I don't understand why he doesn't get credit for that. Because he's doing a good job based on what we've got, believe. I hope this gives some sort of clarity on that situation, that actually our team just probably is where, to be honest, our team isn't where it's supposed to be. It's doing better than where it's supposed to be. George says, honestly, other than Grealish, don't think Everton are better than us. Yes, they are. Miles better than us, bro. Illiman and Jai, Branthwaite, Tarkovsky, James Garner. They've got Idrissa Gana Gay. They've got loads of better players than us. Jack Grealish. Come on now. Dewsbury Hall. They have a lot. They have a good squad, bro. Right. If Leeds United got relegated, who's coming for our players? Who's going? Realistically. Or could you, apart from Okafor, could you see them all competing in the Championship? Maybe someone would go for Rodon, Goodmanson, Bogle. Do you know what I mean? Longstaff, maybe. Stack, go back to Germany. But my point is, it's not like when we went down before, when you had players like Rafinha and Calvin and even like Tyler Adams. You could, we just I don't know, folks. I just think it's going to be a long old slog, and I knew it would be that. I knew it would be that. I'd come to terms with that. I just think now, 16th, that's where we should, like, we're doing all right. Forest is massive. As long as we don't get beat, and then we've got Villa at home, and we can get something at home. I've already seen that. And then it's like Rough. Just have to get to January for me and then assess it. Because if we have a good January, even though they told us that we don't like to do business in January, well, they better fucking do this time. Otherwise, we will go down. You know, we will go down. That's where my head's at with it. So, yeah, they did. Listen, the 49ers sent out a deck to prospective investors, and on that deck it said we don't like to do business in January. We feel we shouldn't. Well, that needs to change, because if they don't, then we're going down. You know, we're going down. So, yeah, I hope that gives some clarity of why I'm okay, because I know there's a lot that are maybe wanting the manager sacked and stuff, and everyone's entitled to their opinion, honestly. But I just think it's a manager doesn't change this for me. We're actually overperforming for me. It's mad as well. I don't think it's that mad. It'll probably sound mad to you, but for me, what do you want? What did you expect? We've got the one of, if not the worst attack in the league. The goalkeeper leaves a lot to be desired, and yeah, even the centre back rode on a side. So, cheers, Ryan. Yeah. Why is everyone coming for the manager 18 months to have 2 strikers who are free and no number 10? Yeah, it's bad, wasn't it, mate? I think there was a arrogance and naivety from the recruitment team. They thought they were getting Muniz. They thought they were getting Paixão. And look at it. It's terrible in the end, really, wasn't it? Not good at all. But yeah. Big week, big weekend. Locked in and loaded as per. But listen, I want to thank you all again. I'm really lethargic and tired at the minute. Probably catching up with me after the mad few days. But got the doctors at 2. Football tonight with my daughter. I was going to do the game last night, but I was so tired, and came back and thought, right, just go to sleep. I got a doctor's at 2. But I'm thinking, do I get a quick hour in before then? Matt says, Joe, you say that a change of manager, it could change something. Of course it could, Matt. Could. But I just think it's these players. But look at the squad we had before Bielsa came along. We have but Bielsa's different, mate. Bielsa's different. You don't have a full pre-season and all that sort of stuff. I hear you, though. Okay, I hear you. True, George, it is, man. I can't move my hands, man. It's like this constantly. Yeah. Sunderland proves squad is everything in this league, yeah. Listen, I told you all about Granit Xhaka. What a player. What a player. Yeah, I'm going to go get an hour. Go here, Del, because I'm tired. And then, I'll maybe chat to you later on, maybe not. But thanks, everyone, for watching. And I'll see you in a bit. Peace out. Love for the love. And I'll see you tomorrow, yeah. Peace out. Oh, hang on. 25 months. Wow. Love hearing your opinions on the performances rather than arguing with individuals about individual players and Farke. It takes its toll. It does, man. It does. Nino. No, I don't know how you can say that when they're both below us in the table. When our manager beat Nuno 3-1. You know? Anyway, I'll see you in a bit. Peace out. Take care of yourself as well, man. Love.